Hello everybody and welcome back to the Stacey West YouTube channel. I'm Ben and I'm here to preview the weekend's game away at the Lamex and Stevenage. And to help me do so, I'm joined by Matt from the Stevenage FC Podcast. How are you doing, mate? Are we all well?
Yeah, look, Ben, great to come on in, mate. I love doing these and coming on and talking about kind of us at Stevenage. And, for the last kind of 2 years, it's been brilliant to come on these platforms and talk about us, and especially this season in League One. So, really well. I've just went to New York last week, so I've kind of come back from America and New York and thrown into it all again. So, doing really well.
Excellent stuff. Hopefully the jet lag's not too bad for you at the minute, and we can have a decent conversation about what's going to happen at the weekend. So obviously you guys absolutely flying in League One at the moment. Compared to your expectations at the start of the season, how is it compared? I imagine you're absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, look, it's first of all, it's just amazing to be in League One, after the journey that we've had, but to be fifth place, 29 points on the ball from 17. It's incredible. And I think when we come into the division, for a lot of us, it was, just about staying up. And, you can come up to League One, but the amount of times you can go back down, you've seen it with Northampton in the past, you've seen it with Forest Green last season. I always feel, like you get promoted to League One, but you kind of properly become a League One team when you stay up. And, for us, it's been something that we wanted to do this season. But knowing the manager and knowing the people that are in charge, they're winners and they want to win any league and any game that they're involved in. And coming into this season, we recruited the players to compete at the level. And although we all said that, we'd just take staying up, the management team want to get promoted again. That's how they are. So I think in terms of their expectations, we're probably on track doing the things that we wanted to be doing. But I think for us Stevenage supporters, it's a bit of a pinch me moment. And we're kind of over exceeding the things that we're doing. But it's been a great start. And we're just enjoying it at the minute. Yeah.
Good stuff. And we've actually had the chat already, myself and Chris, on the main podcast a little bit earlier on today. And he was saying that you guys are kind of not outperforming where you should be in terms of the stats as well, which is something that's really interesting to see. Obviously, we kind of say, what you're getting when you face a Stevenage side. You're not going to be getting, down on the floor, tiki-taka football. You're going to be getting the direct style of play. You're going to have, dare I say it, a bit of a physical side. But, I get it's working for you guys at the minute. And is it, how are you finding it going to the games week in, week out at the moment? Is it, I imagine there's a really good feel around everything. But is there anything there that you maybe think is lacking, or, something that you'd like to see be brought in?
Yeah, it's a good question. Look, we all know our style. Our style's fast and direct. We go until the very last whistle. We win our battles. We're a big side. But we've also got quality players when we look in the squad and we look at players like Jordan Roberts, etc. In terms of talent, very talented players that probably actually could play the Championship. So I think really seeing the form that we've had, 8 wins, 5 draws, there isn't really anything that we're kind of going, we need to do more of, really, because what we're doing at the minute, it's like gold dust. We kind of, everything we're doing, we're winning games. I know we had a bit of a tough run in October, but everything we're doing at the minute, we're winning games and we're doing it really well. I think one of the things that we'd kind of noted whenever we've played one of the top sides, and I use Oxford and Blackpool, for example, Bolton, we really deserved a result that day. But those games, we probably needed to play better football, away from home, probably needed to get the ball down on the floor a bit more and actually compete in that regard. But we did it against Derby. Against Derby, we played some beautiful football at home and won 3-1, and it should have been 4 or 5 on the day. So at the minute, there's not really anything we're kind of sitting here going, we need to do better. Like, the defence is doing really well. We're scoring goals at the other end, and we're playing some good football as well. And it's really interesting. I remember when we come into League One this season, and I remember, watching all the predictions, and it's really funny football. I remember seeing all the players that we signed at the start of the season. And I remember looking through some of the players, the Nathan Thompsons, the Louis Thompsons, etc. And, these are lads that have kind of, played championship, but have been competing up the top of League One for the last few years. And actually, when I remember looking in the summer, looking at all the, players we recruited and thinking, actually, there's room there for a team to be in the top 10. And it was really interesting watching all the prediction stuff and being predicted in the bottom 5 as we were. And I think a few of us kind of felt that if we'd had the start that we all hoped with the players we've got, we could actually be doing the things that we're doing. So we've kind of gone under the radar almost. And look, we're doing the things we're doing. So, I think to answer your question, we're pretty happy with everything at the minute, how everything's going. We come through a tough period. We've come out the other end of that winning games and we're still fit. So, look, it's been terrific. And, I think we're just hoping that we're somewhat still lingering by February. And then who knows, right? Who knows? Things happen in football.
Absolutely. I mean, you say there, you've only lost 4 games in the league so far this season, which is, a really impressive stat. Look, we've got to talk about him because we're a Lincoln City podcast. We've got history there, shall we say? But, Steve Evans.
I think everyone does, though. I think everyone's got history of him. Every team we play, they're like, we've got to speak about it. We've got history. I'm like, it's like rattling down the teams, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he's one of those managers that he is absolute Marmite, but if he's at your club and you're doing well, you can't really complain too much. So how has he essentially transformed Stevenage at the minute into a team that is punching, at the top end of League One?
Yeah, it's crazy journey we've been on. I mean, when we first got Steve, actually, a little story, we actually should have got Steve earlier than we got him, actually. So when we were having that like appalling season in League Two where it all looked doomed for the National League, as it has many a time over the last 4 years. But we were supposed to get Steve in November, and he was still at Gillingham, and the chairman Scully wouldn't let us speak to him. So we were supposed to get Steve earlier. But when we got Steve, we were in the mud. I mean, we were destined to be in the National League. We'd been knocking on the door for a few years. We had 9 games left, and I swear to God, if we wouldn't have got him, we would have been in the National League, and God knows where we'd be now. And Steve come along, and we had a couple of games, things improved, and he got that team winning, kept us up. And it's just a ridiculous journey, really, considering where we were when he took over to then he built a team the following year to win. And again, a little bit like he's done this year. It's gone under the radar. He's, made some really good signings like he's done this season. And then we had the season of the dreams last year where, we get promoted and finish second. Unbelievably, the turnaround from going second bottom to second is just remarkable. And then we come into this season, it's the same again. What we're going to do? We're going to keep that team and do all right, but not really be competitive. But again, he's gone kind of under the curtain almost in the work we did in the summer. Not a lot of people realise the recruitment we made. And then Bosch up in 5th again. And it's just truly a remarkable turnaround. But, Steve's a winner. He knows how to win games at this level, both in League One and League Two. And the thing that Steve brings is he brings a massive resource book with him where he's had a lot of players play for him in the past, or there's been a lot of players that he's wanted to sign that he hasn't. And he's done a similar thing with us. And look, it's very simple. The guy knows how to win football matches. So, the journey that we've been on with Steve is incredible. He's built a style. He's built a team that's successful. And hopefully he can stay until his contract ends in 2025. We don't know where we'll be, but I think, in my opinion, he's probably in the shortest space amount of time. He's the greatest manager we've had, and I think he's probably done one of the greatest jobs that's ever been done for a Football League team. So look, Marmite, but when he's your manager, you love him. When he's not, you hate him. And fortunately, he's our manager. We love him, and look, he's achieving great success with us.
Absolutely. Do you think there's any danger? I mean, obviously, there's the links with Rotherham at the moment. He's come out and said that. I think he came out last night after the game and said they're not. I've not spoken to anybody. The chairman's not spoken to anybody. Are you confident that he'll stay with you guys?
Yeah, really confident. It's the thing is it's football, isn't it? And I said to some of the chaps last night at our kind of Football League trophy match, and I said, we haven't experienced this for a long, long time, and that is when your team's winning and you're doing well, people come for your players and people come for your managers. Football, that's where it is. And we haven't had a lot of it the last 5 years. So it was almost kind of like reminding us, if this happens when your team's doing all right. So yeah, look, it's to be expected. The guy's done one of the greatest jobs the manager's done in League One and League Two with a side that look destined for the National League. So, we're going to have teams who come sniffing for him. He had Hibernian a few months ago and didn't go there. And I think really that was really the one that we knew he wasn't going to leave. It was Hibernian coming for him, and Steve's a massive Celtic fan. So really, if that was it's been his dream to manage probably at, Celtic Park. So when he didn't go to Hibernian, he turned Hibernian down. It was a bit of a comforting thing to know that he's definitely going to be here to his contract. All right, if Celtic ever came in, then I think we'd all go, oh, well, there it is, he's gone. But when he didn't go to Hibernian, we knew. So when I think the rumours come out about Rotherham, I think everyone was a bit calm about it and kind of knew, he's probably not going to go there. I know he's been there in the past, but to leave and to join a side that are struggling in the league above when we're up the top of League One. And knowing Steve, he's very settled where he is. He's got a lot of family in the area that people don't realise. He's only up the road. I think Steve's probably going to be here, yeah.
Fair enough. So let's look ahead to Saturday then. I mean, looking down the list of players that you've got, I mean, one big name that's coming back into the fold at the minute is obviously Kane Hemmings. Has he been out through injury for the past few weeks then, or?
Kane's been playing, so
okay.
It's a bit of a weird one with Kane actually, because he didn't really have great stats at Tranmere. He kind of looked like he was going to linger in League Two. So when we signed Kane Hemmings, we were a little bit like, he's a good player, but can he do it at League One? Obviously, Steve's managed him in the past, and a little bit. He's done something similar, Steve. Another player, Alex McDonald's a player that brought that he's managed in the past. But again, we didn't know if he could do the jump to League One, and both of them done it brilliantly. Kane's come into the side, and it took him a couple of games. He missed a couple of sitters in a few games, but the last 2 to 3 weeks he's been brilliant. He's been scoring goals, he's been getting assists, and he's built a really good partnership with Jamie Reid, who's been the marquee player for us this season. So yeah, Kane Hemmings has been really good. Now he's been playing recently, and he was on the bench last night. Steve gave him some time off. He'll probably start on Saturday, but been a big player for us. He's surprising a lot of people at the minute.
Okay, and let's talk about Jamie Reid then. Obviously, double figures for the season in the league. That's a scary prospect when you consider it's only November. What sort of player is he? How does he? Is he kind of a target man? Is he fox in the box? What kind of striker is he?
Oh, Big Goal Reedy. He's got the nickname. He's just Big Goal Reedy. He scores big goals in big games. Reedy's been an incredible player for us. When we first got Reedy a couple of years ago, when we were really poor, it's like he was in limbo in his career. We didn't really know where he was going to go. And then fast forward 2-3 years, and he's second top goal scorer pretty much in League One, which is just farcical. But Reedy's improved a lot under Steve. Jamie's always been a great goal scorer. He's always been a goal scorer. Even when he was at Torquay, I think he scored 40 goals in a season. He's always been a really good goal scorer. But you need, especially at this level, you need a manager and a coach to come in who's going to improve you and get you doing it at professional level. So, Jamie's always been great in front of goals. He's always been a real fox in the box, Jamie. But it's the other things that he's massively improved at for us. His work rate, he's holding up the ball, running off the shoulder. These are things this season that we've seen a massive improvement in Jamie Reid in. And he's better than he was last season. And I thought that was impossible because he was brilliant last year. He just scored so many important goals. But this season, 10 goals in League One, something we never thought he'd probably get this season. And we thought he'd be one of the good strikers, but we didn't think he'd be one of the outstanding ones in the division. Reedy kind of does everything really well. There isn't really one thing that we look at with Reedy and we go, Reedy could be better at that. I think if you're actually kind of pulling teeth, you could say he probably should have scored more goals, to be fair. But he kind of does everything really well. He holds up the ball really well. He runs off the shoulder really well. He's really good in front of goal. He's very good in the air. It's kind of covered in all departments. So, Reedy's been a big player for us this season. And look, he's got 10 goals. There's a long way to go. I think he'll reach 20 this season, which for Jamie Reid, given 3 years ago, is an incredible statistic. So, big player for us. And hopefully Reedy can keep doing the things he's doing for the rest of the season, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully we can keep him quiet at the weekend. There's obviously, we do tend to look over and see are there any players that we've shared or players that are currently in your squad that have been at the Imps before? And one that big name that stands out. He was a big name when he was here, Harry Anderson. Just an Imps legend. And I think that the confusing thing for a lot of people is that he's only 26, which I think shocks a lot of people because we have fond memories of him from the National League winning season and the season after that when he signed for us permanently. I know he's struggled with injury since he came up to you guys from Bristol Rovers, and I believe recently he was involved in a little. I think he was involved in a shunt, from what I was reading, for a car accident. So, is he? I mean, I think looking at this, I think he's only really played 1 minute so far this season. But is he the kind of player that you can see fitting into your squad and what you're going to be able to do? And is he somebody that you're hoping to see a lot more of this season?
Yeah, definitely. I really like Harry Anderson. I think he was one of the top players that we brought in, actually. He was one of the, League One level players that we recruit to compete. A little bit like the Nathan Thompsons, the Louis Thompsons, Dan Butlers, etc. So, yeah, Harry is a player that I actually think would be a starting player, if not someone who's knocking on the door to start. He's just had a lot of bad luck. He had when we first signed him, he had a groin issue. So when we got him from Bristol Rovers, he had a groin problem. So he needed surgery on that. So we had surgery on that. So he missed the start of the season. He then came back and he came on in the League Cup and got an assist when we went out on penalties against Exeter when we drew 1-1 in normal time. He got an assist, looked great. And then a little niggle with his groin again, had to come back. And then so we got back from that, and then someone hit him up the backside in the car. It wasn't anything terrible, but it just gave him a bit of whiplash and stuff. So then he's missed that out of 3 weeks. So Harry's just got really unlucky. He hasn't started a game for us in League One all season. So I think we believe that when Harry's back and he's fully fit, and I think he's trained. I think he's been back training fully. So hopefully this Saturday or the week after when we play away at Fleetwood, he'll be back in the squad. But he's a player that we think could be a starting player, creative midfield player, can play along anywhere in that attacking role as well. Yeah, we believe he's someone that's going to be a really vital player for us. It's just a shame that he's been injured all season. So, I think when we get back in, when he gets games and gets going, I think he'll be a really important player. I reckon second half of the season we'll properly see Harry Anderson. And I think that's really important. And again, I was saying to a few of the chaps last night as well before the game, we're having this success and we've still had a few players out for injury, Harry Anderson being one of them. So, big player, has a lot of League One experience and, again, 26 years old. So, we really want him back in that setup and hopefully it's really soon that he is.
Good stuff. Well, I mean, look, at the minute, we don't really know what to expect from Lincoln City. I can't give you too much insight because we don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, we've just recruited Michael Skabala as our new head coach, so we don't really know whether he's going to keep it the same or whether he's going to keep it different. But I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday. Really am. Before we come to the obvious question, what is there for Imps fans to do when they get to the Lamex? Is there anything fun that you'd recommend doing? Anything worth checking out in the area or even at the ground itself? What are the facilities like for away fans?
Yeah, it's a good little away day. What I would say is there isn't loads around the stadium where the stadium's situated because it's out of the town centre. But what you have got at the stadium, and it's really good now, we've kind of modernised into a Football League One club now. It's great. But at the stadium, you've got two bars. You've got the Broadwell Suite in the corner, which is near the East Terrace side. So away fans, if they get there early, you can go in there. Or you've got the 76 Lounge, which is part of the new North Stand, which where I go in with my season ticket. You go round the other end of the stadium. That's a really nice little bar. It's got Sky Sports. It'll have the football on. Cheap booze as well. It's only about £3 a pint in there, so it's not too bad. So any Lincoln fans that get to the ground early, they're the places to go to. If you want to go out, you've got the town centre, the old town. It's like a little old high street. It's really good. You've got loads of bars and pubs up there. You can go in and do things. You've got the leisure park if people are looking to, I don't know, do cinema or bowling. If there are any people into that before the football, I'm not personally, but if there are anybody that wants to do that, you've got the leisure park, Stevenage Leisure Park, that's not too close to the ground. What I would say is anyone that is driving opposite the stadium, you can park for free and then just walk under the underpass of the stadium. If people are getting the train, it's a bit of a walk from the station to the train. You're looking over a mile. So So what I would say, if you get to the train station, just get an Uber, and an Uber will just take you to the ground. It's like a couple of minutes in the car. And that's the same at the Old Town as well. You're looking at about a 1.5 mile walk, 2 mile walk from the Old Town. So yeah, anybody getting the train, etc., just get an Uber. And if you're driving, park opposite, walk under, and then you're at the ground. But yeah, I would say those are the things in the area. And if you're hungry for some food, I tell you, there's a fantastic KFC opposite the ground. Best KFC I've been to. Brilliant. I go there every week to get my dinner. So go there if you're hungry. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of what's around the grounds. Yeah.
Super stuff. Well, I'm sure if anyone watching sees you on Saturday, I'm sure you may be in for a few pints, but we shall see. But look, in prep for the weekend, then I'm going to leave it with the question that we ask everybody: what's your prediction for the weekend, and how do you see it going?
I love it. Well, anyone that knows me knows I'm the most positive Stevenage fan ever been. So I don't think there's once I've gone, I think we're going to lose this weekend. Even when we were crap, I was like, we're still going to win this weekend. I've got this reputation for it. But no, look, it's a big game for us. We just beat Wicker 1-0, which was a really good win last Saturday. We're on a bit of a crest of a wave at the minute since our tough run in October. So yeah, with it being at home form's been great for us this season. We just have one defeat from about 8 matches at home. So yeah, no, I think I'd like to think we can win Saturday. I said it on our podcast the other day. I think it'll be a tough game. I think with the new manager, look, it's always tough games. I think if we can play the way that we want to play, and suffocate you and do the things that we want to do, like we like to do to teams. I went on our podcast the other day, 2-0 Borough win. So I'm going to stick and say 2-0 win to our Stevenage. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with a fairly functional 1-1 draw. I think. I know you're tough to break down. I know you're difficult to score against, and the chances will be at a premium. But I think with Skubala coming in, I just think the lads are probably going to be up for it to try and stake the claim for that place in the first team for permanently going forward. I would absolutely love to see a reverse of the scoreline you've suggested, because let's be fair, if you're a Lincoln fan, you're going to want a win over a Steve Evans side, and if you're a new manager, you're going to want if you get a win over a Steve Evans side, you're an instant cult hero at Lincoln. So we'll see what happens. But look, I think thanks for joining me, mate. The floor is yours, 20 seconds or so, if you want to plug your podcast, plug anything else you've got going on, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, thanks for having me on, and best of luck for the rest of the season. It's great to come on and do these and meet so many people. But channels. So my personal Twitter is at MattSFC94. The podcast page on Twitter at TSFC Podcast. We've got podcasts coming out like hot dinners at the minute because we're winning. So they're coming out thick and fast. So if people want to go and follow us on Twitter, do that. We're quite active on Twitter. We're on Facebook and Instagram as well. So if people want to go and follow us on that, feel free. Just put in the Stevenage FC Podcast. It'll come up. We mainly are on Spotify. We've got other bits and bobs going on, YouTube, etc. as well. So yeah, go and give us a follow on those. That would be greatly appreciated. And just have a little eye out for us and the episodes that we drop weekly.
Great stuff. Well, thanks ever so much for joining me, man. And we will see you when Stevenage hit the bank later on in the season. And until then, up the Imps.